Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox. Sponsored by Rogue Energy. Use promo code Wrestling with E for 10% off your next purchase, and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, that guy, James J., alongside the leader of Squad Squad, Kaliko Yachts.
And the official 2021 College Football National Championship. Dogs, go dogs, baby! I'm surprised I'm not drunk. I've been drunk since Tuesday, but I didn't drink today. So, yeah, go figure. But I will be drunk because this is a 40-year celebration. Way too long,
And the American Scooter Dust, who is not here tonight because he's singing the blues for Alabama.
Yes, my happiness came at the expense of Alabama. And I must say, fuck Bama. Y'all got like six of them bitches. Just give me my one, homie. I'm not greedy. One's good enough for me.
Well, I don't know about football, but it is a great day for wrestling. As last week on the show, we interviewed Christy James. And definitely a memorable interview that you should definitely check out if you haven't already. But this upcoming Wednesday, we got the Spitfire, Jesse Nolan. And it's a year in the making. Jesse has done a lot more than just three matches since the last time we spoke to her, and it's definitely a catch up you don't want to miss. And if you don't believe me, here's a little taste of that interview. Um, Now you wrestled your other coach, Alexander Lee, in
hmm
March of last year. You
Yeah.
took the L in that match, but 6 months later, you got a win over him. What would you say was the biggest difference between your first match with him to your second?
Um, crowd or other wrestler outside distraction was definitely the biggest difference. um, the first match we had was on the road, and it was just me and him, and nobody interfering, like just me and him, like beating the shit out of each other.
You could say shit, it's fine.
And then our next match was at Vacation Land Pro Wrestling, which is a company up here in Maine. And I was out there with Blade Bandit, my partner, and Alexander Lee was out there with Jake Hez, who is also a student at the Limitless Dojo. Um, Very new. It was his first time ever out there, like as a manager per se. And so he definitely caused some distractions for Alexander Lee. And, my boyfriend also was causing a distraction by trying to not have him, Jake, cause a distraction. And that in turn distracted Alexander Lee. And I took my opportunity and I won. So it worked out for me. Not so much for Lee, but yeah, that was definitely the big difference there.
Alright, in the coming weeks, we got Rip Bison, Motor, and Butch from from Fight Factory Wrestling UK. So, of course, you could follow us on Twitter at Wrestling with E for specific dates and times for those interviews as well. Now that we're done putting ourselves over, I think it's time to get into the news. No, Kaliko?
Let's get to it. 2022 is starting to come up. Rumble season's coming. The road to WrestleMania. So much stuff.
And even though we're not even to the Royal Rumble yet, we're already talking about the Elimination Chamber. It was rumored that the Elimination Chamber will take place in Saudi Arabia, in February with a new name. Um, let's start off first with WWE doing the Saudi Arabia show before WrestleMania rather than after it, like it has been for what the past 2 3 years.
Yeah, I logistically it makes sense in the sense that February is usually that month that after people are happy about the Royal Rumble, and we're really just waiting to get to WrestleMania, right?
Right.
So it makes sense to do it in that time frame because I remember they tried to do it in a time frame a couple years ago in which San Diego was supposed to get a pay-per-view, and we didn't because it was logistically impossible to do so coming back from Saudi Arabia going straight to Dago. So it makes sense. So do it in a time frame where it's not gonna get where they can make the money, and especially with Omicron, we don't know how the states are going to handle that now as the rates get higher. So it's kind of a crapshoot to try to keep it here. And plus, I think what they're trying to change the name to WrestleMania Chamber, which kind of makes sense in a way because the Chamber match is kind of like the de facto contender match for whoever brand didn't get picked. So it kind of makes sense to me.
Well, from what I heard, and this is just what I heard, so don't try and cancel us. Elimination Chamber has another meaning outside of the United States, pertaining to things that happened in the events of World War II. Um, in Germany specifically, it's called No Escape match. So I get that, but does WrestleMania Chamber really roll off the tongue at like Elimination Chamber?
It it's kind of like they're probably playing the name to the group, to the people of that land, right?
Right.
We've seen this happen with this. We've seen the blunders with it. With prime example, the Chevy Nova. They tried to sell that in Latin America. Nova is Spanish for no go, so the car didn't sell. So it's more like I see what they're doing it for the PC reasons, and plus they're stockholders, man. So they're doing what makes sense to profit shareholders,
I get that.
which to the chagrin of us, because it's kind of like the Staples Center changing the name to crypto. It'll always be the Elimination Chamber.
That sounds about right. Um, somebody that's going to be in an elimination chamber of sorts. Sonny got arrested again. Is this even really news at this point, Kalika?
Not really. Moving on.
Cory Graves is actually cleared to wrestle now. Which is, it's great for him, but does he actually need to wrestle going forward?
That is an interesting dichotomy. I remember, quick story, I met him in 2014 in New Orleans, and I was like, it's something about you. Like, I told him that too. It's like, something about you. You just like this charisma that's coming out, right? And, and the charisma's coming out in the sense of being a commentator. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad if he wrestled, but I think he would probably enjoy the schedule he got now because he doesn't have to go on the road 200 days a year.
Right, true.
But it's one of those. But I can see him easily being one of those people where he's got an itch and he wants to get back in the ring and he'll go back in the ring. The question is, how will he be presented if he chooses to go back in the ring? Because keep in mind, when he was wrestling in NXT, that was felt like 8 versions ago.
Yeah.
compared to now. So it's kind of like Captain America from 1954 getting put into 2022 and just say, go out there and live your life. Okay, how the hell we're going to do that, right? So it, it's just a matter of that perspective. The only thing that keeps him hip to game is that he's the commentator, and
He's
it,
already well established.
right, he's a well-established commentator, and he kind of already knows a lot of the people that are on the main roster now. But he was more known in NXT than he was on the main roster as a wrestler. So that would be the wild card. How would they present him as a wrestler? How could they introduce him back in as a wrestler? I mean, granted, him being cleared now, he could be a surprise entrant in the Rumble. You remember how like they had the announcers like
Yeah.
when like Michael Cole jumped in and he got his ass tossed out and stuff like that. That could be a way to put him back in the ring without having to, to just see where he's at.
Right.
So that's one way.
You think if he does actually get back in the ring that he won't be on commentary anymore? He'll go full-fledged wrestler, or do you think it'll be like more like a Jerry Lawler type thing, where he'll only come out for like certain events when he's needed, yada yada.
That's a good question because once you go there, you can't go back, right? And I bet you he's thinking that. To me, Jerry Lawler was more the older side, so it made sense for him to do that. If they had if he was cleared when Big E was throwing that jacket at his ass, and he chose to wrestle Big E, that would have made more sense. But hey, a lot of time has passed since then, so that ship has sailed. So it's just a matter. You know what I mean? Like that would have been the perfect time, but he wasn't cleared yet. So it's a decision he has to make, and especially him being comfortable in that role. To me, he's this generation's closest version of Bobby Heenan you'll ever see in your life. Because that dude is funny as hell. So it would be a bigger blow to commentary than it would be to
But there is always somebody to replace somebody, and if he decided to just go into the pro wrestling part and leave the commentary behind, will there be a commentary job for him afterwards if he chooses to go back there? You know what I mean?
That's the wild card because the reason he went into commentary was due to the fact that he wasn't going to be able to wrestle again ever, and they realized he was pretty good on the mic and or on commentary, and he's worked with everybody from Cole to Jimmy Smith to I don't think he did what he kind of smoothed McAfee in a tad bit. I doubt a little bit, but Jimmy Smith, as much as I like him, he's more of he's more of the MMA world, and I know this because I listened to his radio show. So to me, he was the best thing to keep Jimmy Smith credible, and their chemistry was pretty good. Saxon's still there, so I guess. But the reason Saxon was good because him and Graves played off really well.
Right.
So that's where it's like chicken or the egg, man. But
and I mean, it's not like you could get
whatever
Tom
he
Phillips
picks.
back. Tom Phillips is in Impact now, so.
But Tom Phillips wasn't a color commentator. He was the play-by. He was play-by-play. So you would need someone who's a color guy. Now,
I do feel like the Pat McAfee kind of took over for Cory Graves in a sense because he was so good on commentary. that's kind of where I'm at. He could easily replace Cory Graves, but who's going to replace Pat McAfee on SmackDown?
Exactly. And I think Pat McAfee makes SmackDown in a
Yes,
sense. Is I feel like the commentary team they wouldn't push it, and at best they would put Pat McAfee double duty. At best.
I wouldn't stretch Pat. Um, I would rather keep him on SmackDown. He's been a strong endorsement for Roman Reigns. He makes the Nakamura entrance even more entertaining. That just makes sense to me. But I mean, you could always bring Wade Barrett, right? Call him up from NXT.
Wouldn't be the same. Nigel McGuinness.
Is Nigel still with WWE?
I don't know, but that would be one. That's a name I could think of. Nigel McGuinness. I'm trying to think. Anybody that was in NXT, right? I would have said Regal, but they just got rid of Regal.
Yeah.
That's the question. Who's going to replace Graves if he goes up? And that's a question I think they don't want to find out. Low-key.
Well, let me throw this out there. Even if he was to go up and become a wrestler, would they even allow him to be a wrestler? Could Vince McMahon just say no to stay on commentary? That's why I want you.
That's the point. That's another good point. I mean, could they?
But
I
then
mean
you
they
risk.
could. They
But
could
then
in essence, but I don't think that they would. I don't think. I think they would probably lean them to go more towards commentary.
but then you also risk him stay, possibly leaving because he wants to wrestle. You know what I mean?
Uh, he could, but I don't think he's that Daniel Bryan-esque personality. And my biggest concern is what would his character be when he come back?
True.
Even if he chooses to come back, the guy he was at NXT is so not the guy he is now.
It isn't. Um,
So
Speaking of William Regal, he already has job offers from Impact Wrestling. Said that they take him in a GM or commentator's role. Um, would William Regal in an Impact work for William Regal? Would he be better in an NXT, in an AEW, or would it be very beneficial for an indie promotion like a Limitless to scoop up William Regal?
my personal belief is that William Regal should be going somewhere where his mind talent would be advised and appreciated, which to me is not AEW.
Interesting. So you wouldn't say that AEW would appreciate a William Regal?
I feel like no, I'm not saying that they wouldn't, but I think that they would put him more as a mentor to somebody than actually using the fact that he deals with this generation's wrestlers to task.
I get that.
And that's my biggest key. Because think about it, every wrestler who is not a active wrestler, what are they doing?
Yeah, they're just managing somebody.
Exactly. And I think someone who is of William Regal's brain trust would be more beneficial to the backstage. If AEW wants to change the culture, then you would put William Regal because I feel like it's just the new school. It's just basically the new school with money. But I don't see them doing that. So I see William Regal just doing his thing because I think he's made more than enough money. He's chilling. He probably take time off and take whatever is given.
I mean, he would be wasted with Andrade, right?
That would be a culture clash that NATO can't even put together.
But what about maybe a New Japan? Because his son was a young lion before the pandemic hit. So, it wouldn't surprise me if he went over there and just kind of overlooked and kind of spent time with his son and the other young lions. No?
Unless they do New Japan USA, then he could be an overseer there,
Very true.
which would make more sense.
And having a William Regal in any form of New Japan would be greatly beneficial towards them because he is, all of his fantastic abilities, he's a talent scout. So plucking, some independent talent for New Japan is something that wouldn't go underappreciated. I don't think so.
That is true because I think, especially if you're trying to grow the American market, that would make the most sense.
Right. Um. Now to another bit of news. We got Brodie King is officially all elite. He's a member of the House of Black. Personally, I wouldn't have gone to AEW. I think he was doing bigger and better things in New Japan Strong and being the leader of his own faction, a violent no, but violent by no violence by design is Impact. Violent Incorporated is him. But now he's back to being a follower and a follower of Malachi Black. Your thoughts, Kaliko?
Money talks, schedule talks. AEW at best you're working what 2 days a week, a day a week, and you get to make money, and you get you something. So I mean, it, the money talk there, the money and the schedule talk. They're staying in America.
Alright, I guess that's fair enough. But I don't know. I think he could have been better elsewhere. Just my opinion. I mean,
Well, I mean, it's with maybe he didn't think. Maybe he thought New Japan because New Japan don't really with other than Osprey and maybe Cobb who just now coming on strong. The last Gaijin that actually was pretty treated like thoroughly there has been.
very true.
The last Gaijin that had a shot at anything other than like the ones that are going through the Lion program.
Very true.
Because to me, I felt like New Japan was going back to the basics with their Japanese wrestlers.
When did they leave the basics? Is what I'd like to know.
When they had the Bucks and Omega, because it got to the point, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it got to a point where New Japan was just, as far as America is concerned, it was just the Bucks and Omega. You didn't even think Okada when you thought of New Japan, unless you're just like a diehard, right?
I feel like Okada would be the only guy from New Japan that would be. I know people that don't even know who Okada is and would still say that he's the best wrestler in the world.
No shit. We were at the Long Beach show and I
Right.
saw Okada walking down the street and nobody gave a fuck. So that's my point. Like it's back to basics in a sense. But I bet you if that was the Young Bucks, instantaneously. So it got to the point where the Bucks and Omega were bigger than New Japan. That's what I meant by back to basics.
Okay. I got you. Um, Lance also came back as well, and it seems like he's in a prominent role to challenge Hangman Page. Obviously, he's just going to get the Sonata push there. But could you see that this leads him to bigger and better things going forward? Because he did just come off injury.
I don't know because that's the problem with AEW. It's like other than Danielson, which made sense, everything else is kind of getting piecemealed for Hangman's run, which to me is bullshit. And I get why because Omega took time off, and I felt like that was the story. And now Omega took time off, having to heal his injuries.
Yeah.
So I get it.
And
So now they didn't have a plan B.
Do you think that they extended the Bryan Danielson story longer because they needed time to figure something out with Hangman Page?
Yeah, because I'm going to sit here and tell you now, you cannot sit here and tell me wins and losses matter, and then Daniel Bryan fucking had like a cup of coffee in AEW and got 2 title shots.
Right.
Granted, I can give you 3 title shots when you think of him in Omega, so you can't.
But I wasn't for the
So
title.
but that ain't the point. The fact that he even got in the ring with the champ at all.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying? Like that's my point. Like that's the point I'm trying to make. You can't sit here and tell me this shit matters, and then Daniel Bryan comes in and instantly gets, which I must say, he is a exceptional wrestler, and it's not about the wrestler, it's about the system that you're incorporating. You can't say WWE don't stick to the script, and here is AEW doing the same goddamn thing. What's the difference?
Exactly. So that brings us to Lance Archer. Is it just a crapshoot with how they're walking this, or do you see that it's going to be maybe something significant for him?
It ain't gonna be nothing significant. It's only significant if he wins the belt. And do you really think he's gonna win the belt after they spent 2 years literally trying to get Hangman the belt?
Yeah. Fair enough. Um, Next thing we have on our news is MLW is suing WWE, saying that they blocked them from a deal with Vice TV. Is there any truth to, well, I'm not saying that there any truth to this, but do they have any legs to stand on with this lawsuit?
I have to read the legal documents and figure the basis, but I wouldn't think so. Like, I mean, why the fuck would WWE? What would they benefit from blocking Vice TV or blocking MLW? What the fuck is that's the number one question that's going to be asked. How does WWE benefit from keeping you off TV? Because even when you had TV on like Fight Nation or Fight TV, WWE didn't give a fuck.
And
But
on top of that, Vice TV is a very anti WWE channel. If you ever saw, Dark Side of the Ring, so
yeah,
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't like Vice TV, but also wouldn't. I don't think that they've had any pull in saying you can't be on Vice TV.
man, WWE could literally have shut down Dark Side of the Ring by with the way that they used all their fucking taping. So why the hell, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They would have a bigger gripe against Dark Side of the Ring than they would goddamn MLW.
yeah, makes sense to me. Um, Tommaso Champa heading to the main roster. And he got a new dye job on his beard as well.
Poor Chuck. the Champa NXT. The problem is, will it be Champa NXT we love, or will it be something else? And I'm just wondering.
I feel like it's going to be 24/7 champion Tommaso Champa. Because that's where I feel that this is heading. Unfortunately.
Depends.
On what exactly?
Where he goes.
I mean, 24/7 is on both shows, I believe.
He's gonna be on both.
No, I'm saying the 24/7 championship is on both shows.
But I don't see him doing 24/7 shit.
What do you see him doing?
If he's on Raw, SmackDown needs more stars, especially in the mid card. So I wouldn't be surprised him there. But also with Seth challenging for the Universal title, God knows how that's going to work.
Yeah.
As far as him and are they trading for him? You see what I'm saying? He got drafted there, then he goes and challenges. That's the shit that pisses me off. He got drafted to Raw, challenges for the SmackDown title. Makes sense to me.
Well, it makes sense to them. I mean, at least with Brock Lesnar, they said he's a free agent. He can go wherever he wants. They established that from the very beginning. But,
translation, both networks wanted him, so he's basically the only moonwalker amongst everybody.
Very true. But, I mean, if they actually do give Champa an actual shot at this, he could be a prominent Intercontinental or United States champion. I could definitely see him as a master antagonizer against the Damian Priest or a Nakamura or honestly anybody because Champa is an incredible wrestler. But if they're just chopping him out until his contract comes up, then it's just a waste, isn't it?
The question is, how long on the contract? They wouldn't bring him up if he was close to the end of the contract. Hell, look, see Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah.
So they're going to do something with him, and I think it's going to be an influx of new blood. I just feel bad for all of this. Triple H, because this motherfucker goes to the hospital, has a health scare, and all of a sudden he's going to look up when he gets home, gets to the work, and everybody's goddamn gone.
Well, I mean, he's been out of the hospital for quite some time. And it's widely debated, but I'm more than sure that Triple H isn't coming back to NXT. I think he got fired.
He got fired from WWE?
No, from running NXT.
Oh, they just took his shit. It wasn't even close. They just took his shit. And the problem is that Vince wasn't watching it. And like I said before, it wasn't watching it, but it became bigger, damn near. You could have made an argument NXT at one point was bigger than Raw.
Oh yeah.
And SmackDown. So that's the problem.
Maybe
that
not
was
in
the problem.
viewership, but definitely in quality of product.
Right. But the quality of product was what was driving the numbers. And I bet when they did that goddamn Survivor Series where NXT won, boy, look where they are now.
Yeah.
Won the battle, lost the war that night, homie. Looking at it from now.
Well, that does bring the question up if Triple H got fired from his job in WWE, and he's just kind of fiddling his thumbs at this point. Could he venture out and do something outside of WWE?
He could, but I don't see him going against his wife.
Because it's a
See,
conflict of
people.
interest.
Yes. See, that's the problem with people. People just go, Triple H, just leave. Yeah, just go ahead and leave your wife. And leave your wife and that side of the family and just go do your own shit. Like his personal interests be damned, considering he's married to Vince's daughter and got 2 kids. Yeah, fuck it. Just fuck all that. Just do you.
So we won't see Terror Rising as All Elite.
No shit. That would be this dude would have to give up so much shit for that. His position, his stocks, his salary, his contract. Just keep in mind, he was signed as a wrestler slash performer, and office person.
Right.
So he gonna give up all that bankroll just so he can run his own little fucking company to to help us out, man. If you get the fuck out my face with that shit.
And I mean um his in-ring status is possibly in question, considering he did have, a heart procedure. Do you see Triple H having another match going forward, or is he retired?
Oh, he's fucking done. He's fucking done. He as a wrestler, who the fuck is he gonna face?
I mean, he could have a match with AJ Styles.
Get the based on what?
That AJ Styles is the best performer in WWE today. If we're talking about doing maybe a retirement match, just one more, just to say that he went out on his own terms.
Bullshit, man. I give up. Damn all this. He went out on his own terms. Sometimes a nigga tear their ACL and they can't get back in the league. They didn't say, "Oh yeah, let's let him go back in the league and leave on his own terms." Fuck out of here! You ain't performing. You get the hell up out of here. Sometimes I get it with Triple H, but we get a little. I think sometimes we get a little too sentimental, and in this case, why would I risk it just so he could say he went out on top his way? Jerry Lawler had a goddamn heart attack, and they were like, "Nah, fam, get your ass out of here."
Very true.
Because the last thing they need is a motherfucker dying in the ring or having a heart attack in the ring, and they gotta stop shit, and that's all over internet forever.
And I mean, they risk that every time they put Rey Mysterio in the ring. You know why? Because he kills motherfuckers. Okay,
Bro, love. He did that shit overseas in Mexico. They don't care.
and that's the only reason they don't care. Um, but Pete Dunne is rumored to be heading to the main roster as well. I mean, ability wise, probably could be a world champion. Look wise, size wise, is probably keeping him being that. Would that be an accurate statement?
Size wise, yes, because of height. The way he took care of his body overall, oh man, that dude's jacked. See, that's what I'm saying. They gotta solidify that mid card. But the problem is that everybody thinks everybody should be a heavyweight champion. And sometimes being right at the top and in the middle is a good spot.
Oh yeah.
Not everybody can be on top, and that's the thing I think we get lost in the shuffle sometimes. Everybody has to be champion or bust, and it's like like Cesaro, right? Yep, and he could have a path like Cesaro, mid card to upper tier, and he could slide in between those, which makes him a Swiss Army knife, which means he is very useful to the company. And there's nothing wrong with that.
But do you think that they would value him that way?
Based on his technical skills, yes. Te- it, based on the style he wrestles, yes, because he wrestles in a style where he's not throwing his body all over the place, and it's believable.
That's what I was gonna say because not personality wise, but wrestling ability wise, he could possibly replace Daniel Bryan as in that position, just wrestling wise. But and I could see that would be the only thing he had going for himself. That for in the eyes of Vince McMahon, that he kind of reminds me of Daniel Bryan.
Without the crazy injury, and he's a lot more technically sound.
Yes, and he kind of relates to the common man, and he's on the smaller side, so people relate to him as well. So he does. I feel like he has more hope than Champa does, and if he does go to the main roster.
Champa has more hope based on his psychological prowess. Bruiserweight has more hope based on his in-ring ability.
And that's exactly the problem. If Champa doesn't get to show off that mental prowess that we know him so well for, then he's not going to come across well on WWE TV. But Pete Dunne, his what he has to say is inside the ring, and he could get that across without actually doing promos. You know what I mean?
Yes, but I think with Champa, that's why I said it depends on where he goes. If he goes to SmackDown, I think he'll get a better shot. Because I feel like even with Raw with 3 hours, they don't really
Feature a lot of
use
people.
it right.
No, you're
Because
absolutely
SmackDown
right.
is literally like Roman and then everybody else, but it gives him the chance to shine with everybody else in that mix, right?
Very true. I mean, also have Nakamura as Intercontinental Champion, but he's been out with injury for the last, I believe, month.
Which makes me wonder why didn't they go, and I get why they didn't do it, but AEW did a smart move. I give them this. By them doing an interim championship, it was fucking brilliant.
Really,
Because it makes it feel more sport.
um, I just feel like you're holding a belt just to say you're holding it, rather than this is the champion and this is his challenger.
Well, the thing is though, with the interim faces, usually if you're the interim, that means you're the first motherfucker that gets a crack at it when the real person comes. So let's say Sammy has it, loses it to, I don't know, Miro. Just throwing it out there. Loses to Miro. Miro is interim champ. Cody comes back. Cody Miro. Let's say, and this is just shits and giggles. I don't know this is not going to happen, but let's just say for shits and giggles. Sammy wants to go against Hangman. Hangman wants title for title. Hangman beats Sammy. Hangman's default interim champ comes back. Cody, who can't compete for the championship, actually can use that as a backdoor for the championship.
I just feel like interim champion is kind of it complicates things, and
It
wrestling
only
is already
complicates.
and wrestling's already complicated and convoluted to begin with.
Now, interim championships complicates things if you have more than one. Like if Sammy got hurt and then they would have an interim to interim, that's when it gets
The
fucking
interim to
dumb.
the
But
interim champion.
right, but having just one, it's not gonna. Yeah,
My personal
nah,
feeling is just either strip Cody and have Sammy as the definitive champion, or just have Sammy wait to wrestle Cody until he's ready to come back. Because it
But that's the
doesn't.
point. That's the point. See, and that's the point of him being the interim, because the problem is that if he fights and he's losing, right, it doesn't give him the credibility to go back into the rematch.
But I mean, he does have the credibility because he has that the contractual rematch just by having been the champion.
Bro, Big E could have had a contract to the rematch, and what do you think they did with that shit? Kevin Owens had a contract to the rematch. What the fuck you think they did that shit? So that's my point. Like, it gets lost. The contract to the rematch gets lost in the sauce, and it can get lost in the sauce. So easy.
Very true.
So him being an interim title, be him being an interim champion is literally putting everybody on the forefront of the mind that Sammy's going to get the goddamn rematch.
I guess so.
I know. I trust me. I get where you're coming from with it
Yeah,
on the complication side. This is me celebrating the fact that they're treating it as a sport, because in the prime example, and I know you don't watch it, in the UFC, correct?
I don't
The
watch that fake
UFC,
shit.
I know you don't, and this is where I'm going to explain it to you and people who may not watch it. Prime example, the UFC heavyweight champion is Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou got hurt, had contract talks, right? Was supposed to defend the title, but the heavyweight division and the rankings must go on. So, while they're doing that shit with him on the side, they set up an interim fight between Gagne and another person that they deemed worthy. Gagne won the title. Gagne's the interim champion, and now he's going to fight Ngannou, who's coming back in the next couple weeks. I, I get, I get it because I see it from the sports perspective. Because if you're going to say that the rankings matter, or at least they're saying the TV rankings matter, at least the TNT shit matters, because for some odd reason they're doing it the exact way that they're not doing it in the AEW World Championship. So it just blows my
And tag
mind
team as well.
that they're holding those two thoughts at the same time, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck? But but I get it. I get it. Most people get it, because I would think most people that watch AEW also watches some kind of MMA or boxing or UFC.
Let's move on to another subject. It was announced that Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, will take place in April. For WrestleMania weekend. Um, I mean, even with the thing I'm having a problem with is, do we even know where we're going to be in April at this point? With Corona and the pandemic and variant one,
I, kn-
variant
I
two, variant three.
Man, please, I know where I'll be, and it'll be in Texas, because I know damn well Texas don't give a fuck. They don't give a damn. And the prime example of them not giving a damn, Dallas is already looking like, okay, really? The Super Bowl might not be in LA. You want to come to Dallas? Last year the Rose Bowl got canceled. They were like, oh yeah, we're gonna cancel the Rose Bowl. Dallas was like, hold my beer, bring your ass down here. So Dallas, yeah, that was like fuck. And the question is, how is that roster gonna look at the show? Because that's the question.
Very true.
Everything else is for the birds. So how the fuck that roster gonna look once that show comes up? Who the fuck gonna be fighting?
I mean, you got Gresham as your champion, so obviously him. Roxy is the women's champion. Um, yeah, the Briscoes are still your tag team champions. we could possibly see FTO versus the Briscoes at that show.
That's the only way it would happen. Because it ain't happening on AEW. I know that. And the Briscoes have been making it very clear that they will come and whoop that ass.
I mean, it feels like the Briscoes never hit that from anybody.
Really?
I mean, the only reason I felt like the Briscoes wasn't in AEW is because the Bucks are afraid to take an ass whipping from them again for like the billionth time that they've been in the ring with them.
Well, the Briscoes are tough though. I love the Briscoes. Them motherfuckers, they don't play. They do not play. So I get it. I don't know. I feel like the Buck style would be with anybody. I don't think they would be running from nobody.
I mean, have you met the Briscoes?
Yes, I have. They are. If I would say one thing, they are about that life. In person, they about that life. So I get it.
So, do you, the thing I was going to bring up about Ring of Honor is, do you feel like it's going to be less about contracts and just more about bringing in talent, with a few exceptions? Obviously, whoever is going to be a champion has to sign a contract to some degree, but mainly just be an open door policy to some degree.
It's gonna have to be a revolving door, but I also think it's more about the fact that SmackDown only can hold so many people, and there's gonna be roughly damn near 100,000 people there, and they want to get that bread, homie. That that's what it screams. Because you can't sit here and tell me, yeah, we're closing operations due to not having money, but we're gonna have this show in fucking Dallas in April, like.
Well,
And why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they?
and again, at the end of it, Ring of Honor's run before the pandemic started, they literally had a show where they gave away free tickets, and that place was not full. If it was a quarter full, it would have been alright. So it's not like it doesn't seem like people are paying for that product. Obviously it's a great product, but people, it's not desired. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, but like we said, ROH was down spiral when once again the Bullet Club. See, the Young Bucks were smart. They became eventually bigger than the companies that they worked for.
Oh yeah.
And then they did their own shit. So now, by effectively leaving two companies that they were working for, where they were bigger than the company, and Omega and them was bigger than the company, it made it. They literally killed two. They literally killed two organizations at the same goddamn time.
And it kind of seems like it's a wait and see process to do what they're doing in Ring of Honor.
We'll see when that card comes,
Yeah.
because the question is, it's not even going to be a matter if people are going to go, because people are going to go because it's Friday. I think it's going to be on a Friday night, so it's around the same time as SmackDown. So I and people are traveling there for vacation, so they're going to want to do something. That's out of the ordinary. The question is, will it be able to A, make money, and B, get enough people to where it matters?
Very true. I'm kind of going on this thread. Um, Impact Wrestling's Hard to Kill wasn't too long ago, their preview. And Jonathan Grisham um, wrestled Chris Sabin in a pure rules match for the Ring of Honor Championship. So, a Ring of Honor's presence outside of Ring of Honor is still roughly in it's still in the talks. You know what I mean?
I think though with they're allowing anybody to do it because they've been doing like because hell Mickey James is the fucking Impact Women's Champion and they're doing that shit. But to me, ROH, it's hard to say that you're a company. Yeah, and it feels like you know how like when Ric Flair still had big gold and he went to WWF.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like with ROH on a lesser scale.
I mean, like on a really less scale.
Like a very, 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 very micro scale.
Like Little Nate winning the championship and doing it.
Yes.
Um, on that same show, uh, Josh Alexander defeated Jonah, Bronson Reed, and after the match, Charlie Haas resurfaced and attacked Josh Alexander. Does Charlie Haas's name carry any weight in 2022, Kalika?
Impact is looking for any name in 2022. So, shit, like, fuck out of here. Get your ass out of here. Let's see what you can do.
Well, apparently getting a concussion is what he could do. Because they had a match the next night for a TV taping, and he got stretchered out after a match with Josh Alexander.
Hey, they gave it a shot. Yeah, like, it's like, I tried my best, but I guess my best wasn't good enough. But all seriousness, hopefully he gets well.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that he's okay as well. So if he's not, I apologize as well. And
I'm just making sure because I don't want nobody coming out there and somebody we happy motherfuckers got concussion.
no, we're not happy. We're just saying
Not happy. Not happy. Just jokes. It's jokes, people.
yes. Moose defeated Matt Cardona and W. Morrissey in a triple threat match to continue his reign as Impact World Champion. Because when you want to be a big deal, you beat Matt Cardona, right?
It's because they're trying to book Moose how he should have been booked 5 years ago. I mean, when you got like a former NFL Atlanta Falcon coming in the wrestling, he's one touch son bitch.
Oh yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised he wasn't like the Impact Brock Lesnar or the Impact Bobby Lashley. Shit.
I'm not debating that.
But then they had Bobby. But they had Bobby Lashley, and that was the problem.
I feel like feed him somebody good. You know what I mean?
Who's on that roster that you think can actually give Moose a run for his money?
Just for name value, Eddie Edwards.
Get the Eddie. When the last time Eddie been in the ring?
On that card. He was the back before.
Man, like I said, nah, Eddie, nah.
So Matt Cardona was the right guy to go with.
Because everybody wouldn't believe Matt Cardona was gonna win.
What about W. Morrissey? Big cash.
Same goddamn thing. Come on, man. Morrissey, fuck him. He's big cast. Fucking big cast. I'm tired of everybody changing goddamn name. Like WWE named you cast, I'm naming you cast. They named you Jonah, you Bronson Reed. God damn it. Anyway, um, but it, Morrissey, he's been there and he's doing okay, but I don't think he made the impact, pun intended, that they thought he would have made. Right?
I don't think it was necessarily an impact. It was kind of, let's see what this guy has. If he does good, we'll throw him a bone and maybe we'll give him something. Because he has had, past demons, and that's kind of been the story of his career up to this point. But he is doing very well in Impact Wrestling, so I won't take that away from him.
Did well enough to be in the match.
Yes,
But that's my point. Like, when that match was announced, did you ever think it was in doubt
that Moose was going to win?
that Moose was going to lose?
Yeah. No.
You had doubt. So when that match was announced, you was like, "Holy shit, Moose couldn't lose."
Oh, no, no. God, no.
That's my fucking point. That's the point I'm making. That's the point I'm making right there. It, if that doubt never crept your mind, was it really worth it?
Very true. Do you think down the line we'll see a Kenny Omega rematch against Moose? Because Kenny did beat Moose when he was Impact champion.
Bro, if I was Impact, I'd stay the fuck away from AEW as long as possible. Because I swear to God, it felt like no Vaseline. It was a no Vaseline situation. And here's my example of it. You mean to tell me out of everybody on that roster that could have gave Kenny Omega the loss, Kenny Omega loses to a recently released, just got back from retirement Christian Cage?
And on AEW TV.
Thank you. See, my point exactly. Get the fuck away. Stay the fuck away from Impact or from AEW. Because that was a one-sided goddamn deal if I ever seen it.
Last match we'll talk about on this Hard to Kill paid preview. Mickey James defeated Deanna Purrazzo in a Texas death match in the main event. Lots to unpack with that. First and foremost, is the reason that Moose in his first paid preview as world champion, um, and he's not the main event because he wrestled Matt Cardona and Morrissey, or is it because Mickey James, she's going into WWE, we need to give her something,
Uh,
or is the rivalry just was bigger than what Morrissey and Moose was doing with Deanna
Probably.
Purrazzo?
It could be all of those things. It could be all of the above. It could be the fact that Moose didn't have his match wasn't really as a draw. It that has a case with it. It has a case with Mickey James being announced on Twitter as an entrant in the Royal Rumble and being acknowledged at WWE as the Impact World Women's Champion. That has an effect to it. It has an effect that the last year, the last 2 years of the advancement of women's wrestling in the sense of being a main event caliber, that could be it. It's also the fact that Deanna was fucking carrying that company at one point and she never got a goddamn main event. That could be. See, so it's a little bit of all of the above, essentially.
No, no, I really feel like Deanna's obviously they should this should have been Deanna's match to win. Honestly, she lost to Mickey James. They gave her the flower moment at Bound for Glory. Yay, the face won. Yada yada. Deanna has been, like you said, been carrying that company on her back. Nobody has been better than her in the female capacity for the possibly the last 2 years. And now they're doing her dirty because Mickie James is a name. Or is it because, again, Mickie James is going into the Women's Royal Rumble? They want whoever is representing Impact Wrestling in the Royal Rumble to have the championship, so they're going to delay it a month or two before they give it back to Deanna.
I think it's also I don't think they're doing her dirty. I felt like Deanna, she beat everybody. So if she had the belt, who the fuck was gonna give her a run that you could believe that they could win? That's one. Two, even if Deanna was in the Royal Rumble as the Impact champion, it has no bearing and no impact like a Mickie James, because Mickie James, hello, fucking WWE goddamn women's champion, one of the most infamous moments in WrestleMania history, yada yada yada. The history's there, so it makes sense to have her as the belt. Because I'll put it this way: Mickie James walking down that ramp with the Impact title, bigger. Which one would have a bigger impact, her or goddamn, or her or damn Deanna?
From a wrestling fan perspective, probably Deanna, but from a WWE fan perspective, Mickie.
From a casual fan perspective,
Yeah, casual.
who, from a person who doesn't dig in the weeds like we do,
Right.
who do you think they care more about more?
Mickie James. And I mean, the
Thank
only
you.
reason Mickie James is in the Royal Rumble is because of that name value. And I'm not saying that they should have went with Deanna into the Royal Rumble, but Impact is smart enough to say, let's keep the belt on Mickie until she goes into the Royal Rumble, that we have our champion in the Royal Rumble. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but even after that, me, I expect Mickey to have the belt for a while because Deanna ran through everybody. Who the fuck? It's like when Kenny had the AEW title and he was running through niggas. Who the fuck was gonna beat him? He ran through everybody except Hangman. Like, who the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
I get what you mean. But I mean,
It's like Roman. Like Roman, it's starting to get there. Like,
I mean, they're bringing more guys now, aren't they?
but that you see my point though. It's getting to
Right.
the point where with Roman, it's gonna be like, who the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but isn't that what a revolving door is? This guy, well, this girl in this sense, didn't could beat her maybe like a year ago, but maybe she's ready now type situation.
If they had told that story, yeah, but no, they didn't. See, we're thinking if they had put that thing there, if they had did it like New Japan did it with Omega and Okada, yeah, I could have got your point there. Whereas like every you couldn't do it, but every chance you got, it got a little bit closer, a little bit closer. Like Georgia, Alabama, you couldn't beat them, but you knew you could. You knew you were in it. You knew you were in it. You knew you were in it. So you jumped over the fucking hump.
Is Impact Wrestling the just happy to be in business company?
Bro, we've had them dead since 2010. Just think that through. If you had told me 10 years ago that Impact Wrestling would last longer than would be still be alive and ROH would be dead, yeah, would have been tell. I would have been told you to stay off the weed.
You know, and this kind of plays into what we've been talking about. 19 women have been announced for the Royal Rumble. I don't think we've had almost a whole Royal Rumble roster announced since possibly 2005, 2006. And we have more than half, uh, uh, approximately 75% of the roster for the Royal Rumble already determined. with only what 11 spots left.
For what, women's and men's?
No, just women's.
Just women? Well, for the women's, I could see it making sense because A, they don't have that depth that they used to have. One, two, I think it's going to be the starter match. Personally, I think it's going to be the starter, the opener,
Mm.
and I think that and I think they're trying to get people to want to get to St. Louis for the Rumble and get them geared up. Because keep in mind, they did that last year. Plus, this is a it makes sense for them to announce that card because I think it's going to be A, like I said, the opening card, and B, it'll be the first Rumble with people.
That's true. They had the
So,
Royal Rumble last year was Thunderdome. Yeah, it
yep.
was.
So this is the first one since that one. So, and that one, think if, oh my God, if we were there and Edge came, bro, at number one. Okay. But going off on a tangent. But that's why I think they're trying to get people hyped up for that particular match because I think it's going to be the opener.
And do you feel like without naming the people, the participants, people will be kind of cold on that match because they don't actually have 30 women to be in the Royal Rumble?
Pretty much that, and I think it it takes the it takes the guesswork out of thinking who's going to be there, right? And this is where it's like it's easier to fill what like a 19, so they still got 11 spots.
Right.
They can announce what 10. Well, I say six of those spots. I say half of those spots, and then have the other half as wild cards.
Very true. I feel like Mandy Rose would be one of those spots, and I kind of feel like Raquel needs a shot in that
Raquel,
spot.
I think Raquel would be in. I think a Mandy would be in. I think a Gigi. I think the whole Toxic would be in. Um,
I was thinking maybe, but I'm now thinking no. Because if they want name value, we know who Mandy Rose is. We kind of sort of know who Raquel Gonzalez is. Gigi and Jace, uh, and Jane, they haven't really, they've been the background for Mandy Rose at this point. I feel like.
and that's my point. It's establishing the group more so than what it already is. Like, oh yeah, you remember Mandy? Now she got some homies
And
type
she's
deal.
brunette.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where I think it's gonna go. That's where I would think it would be. But then again, I don't know what I'm talking about.
I'm still holding out hope that we'll see Mandy Rose blonde, Mandy Rose brunette, and Mandy Rose redhead in the match.
Oh, she'll be in the match. The
No,
question is, who else is gonna be in that match?
three versions of Mandy Rose in the same match.
Oh fuck no! If that's the case, you're gonna have four versions of Bailey, or three versions of Charlotte, or the two versions of Sasha, or the goddamn 18 versions of Naomi. Like it could work. You don't want that. You don't want that. And it could be some people, that were ex people that might pop in. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple of women out there that could still probably jump on back in that thing.
Right now, Melina and Cameron are rumored to be in the Royal Rumble.
Melina makes sense. Cameron, but I get it. I get why. Shit, they ain't got nobody.
Yep. I mean, they have at least what 6 goals on NXT that could be in there. I feel. And then
EO. So EO.
you got Io, Raquel, Zoe Starks, Mandy, Gigi, JC. Um, who else am I missing here? Dakota. Dakota could be in there.
Man, I'm a Dakota Kai till I die, but god damn it, they ain't putting her in.
I think she was in last year. So, I mean, there was a possibility.
Budget well.
Didn't do too hot.
I mean, if you were expecting her to win, yeah, of course, but, you know, she gets that
I
Sonata
expect her
push.
to win every time she gets in the ring, James. You haven't noticed?
And, yeah, her and Sonata. I mean, if they were the tag team, like, wow. You would just be completely heartbroken.
I would be. I would.
But Bailey is, I feel like Bailey is going to be one of those, so that would bring us to 20. And then the 6, 7 that we just spoke of, and then maybe another 1 or 2 surprises.
Yeah, but we all know. I think everybody in is going in with Bailey. Bailey and Oscar's got to be in it.
I even forgot about Oscar, which goes to show you. Oh, maybe not Sami Zayn. Kyrie Sane could be in there. From a retirement.
Kyrie Sane? Ooh, nah. Nah.
Oh, no, Baszler's been announced already.
Unless they bring back. Well, they can't bring back Naya.
I mean, they could.
She hurt.
Oh, she got injured?
Remember, she got hurt in her elbow, and then they let her go.
I didn't realize that she was in. Oh, that's right, because of Shayna Baszler. Yeah. I think we'll put this conversation on the shelf for next week. I believe is our Royal Rumble show. So we'll talk all things Royal Rumble next week. And I believe that will conclude this episode of Wrestling with Entertainment. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Um, Join us this Wednesday as we interview Jesse Nolan. Um, if you like, and of course, you can follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Wrestling with E. You can follow us individually as well. I'm at JamesJ993. Where can they find Kaliko?
Ooh, I've been celebrating all week with this Georgia Natty, so you might see me. You might not see me because I've been drunk. I ain't even gonna lie. I've been drunk. I've been playing Pastor Troy. I've been playing everything Atlanta hip hop from Migos to Outkast, and I'm Kaliko. If you find me, big if, because I've been on a bender since this Natty.
I don't think you need a reason to be on a bender at this point.
But that is the biggest reason of them all, sir. When you have a team that hasn't won a titles in your lifetime, put it this way: the state of Georgia haven't had a title since 1995. We got 2 in 4 months. Oh, I'm on a bender, homie.
Alright. And of course, you can follow Scooter at Scooter Dust. Of course, on the Remix on the UNBS network. Join myself and him for our the one and only live alternative commentary for the Royal Rumble coming up this in 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. And of course, you can follow him on the Smoking Dragons Twitch stream.
And that fuck Alabama, fuck the Tide, fuck the Tide, fuck the Tide. It's all jokes, people. He's my people. It's just a friendly little bet.
And for Coleco Yacht, Scooter Dust. I'm James Shea, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Go Dogs.